Happy Wednesday, FOMC. We're about to see volatility go crazy. Now, a couple of things. We obviously have Powell speaking a little bit later. And for me, this is an opportunity, specifically if the market does what it usually does, where we have an opportunity of the market pre-pumping FOMC, right? We do have a big expectation of a drop, right, in a rate cut today of up to 0.25 basis. Okay, anything above that will be crazy. Okay, but ultimately, markets probably a little bit excited, which means we might see some strength to the upside before FOMC, right? And if we look here on the total 3, we do have the total 3 starting to pop its head through a daily trend line. And as well as what's important here is to see yesterday's candle, right? Yesterday's candle gives us a good idea that this should definitely start turning green. Now, the question is this going to happen before FOMC? Because when FOMC comes, it's big trap time, right? And then it makes a decision. Right now, markets are showing us that there's going to be a volatile stage within FOMC, but ultimately we should leave it going to the upside. Okay, but the important thing now is to survive the trap zones. So I have a few scenarios today going into FOMC. I will be live with you guys on FOMC tonight. We're going to be trading FOMC. Okay, but ultimately, we might be able to get entries that actually give us the room. So when the volatility comes a little bit later, right, we can actually survive those. So it's about getting positions that can survive volatile certain areas, right? Or we're going to have a pre-dump. And if it's a pre-dump, I want to show you guys exactly where I'm getting ready to open up more trades. Now, I am in some trades, and I want to speak about that today, but I'm sitting in a Solana long at the moment. Okay, we're up around 13K here. Okay, but we need to speak about if this wants to come back down, what are the major plans? So again, I'm trading this market in and out at the moment, and I want to make sure that we are prepared for today. Now, again, when we are outside of this wedge, guys, the market is going to turn and change from being a choppy market into a one-directional market, right? Which means that if we keep fighting in these areas here and we get the entries that then gets the market to start pushing up again, we could be sitting on entries that the rest of the market is not sitting on. Entries that we can just hold, sit back, and make money. We don't have to work hard. The hard work always comes down to the entry. And when's the hardest time to do the entry? When no one else is entering the market, right? That is why we need to stay focused now and make sure we get our position. So guys, happy Wednesday to you all. FOMC day. We are going to see popcorn effect. We are going to see volatility, but we are going to make sure that we profit from it. No more wasting time. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like Sniper. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
Squad, Banter fam, how are we doing, guys? How are we doing? Hope you're all having a great day. I see we're up to around 60-70% bullish, which is good. And again, guys, you're the warriors that are remaining in the market. Just stay in the market, right? You are the piece of the pie, that will benefit from crypto highly, because you're kind of staying involved. Does not matter, if you've made maybe some wins, some losses. Ultimately, you're staying involved in the space when many are disappearing, right? And the money will always move to those that are patient and those that are stay in the game. I've only but ever met specifically people that have kept money. I've only but ever met people that have made a lot of money in crypto were those who literally worked the hardest and stayed in the market, right? Stayed in the market, stayed in the games, kept going. They were the ones that made all the money, right? Those who kind of lose money are those that are, I don't want to call them flakers, but they're those that come when things are good, disappear when things are hard, right? And for them to make financial freedom is going to be very tough because they're not fighting the hard periods, right? They're not evolving in the hard periods, staying in the game and continuing to thrive through. So those who are here, hats off to you all. Keep going. Have an incredible December and just keep going, guys. So what we got to look forward to here is obviously, again, I still have these scenarios, right? And for now, it's going to kind of stick there. But, if we look at weekly stocks, just remember, we're on the verge of the weekly starting to wake up. Right, higher time frame moves. This market has now been coming down for a couple of weeks, and now it's gone sideways for 4 or 5 weeks, right? And it's had this quite little chop. You are going to see a response at any point, right? Market's ready here, and I think the key thing here is for us to keep fighting here, okay? Keep building here, right? Build the investments, build the spot trades, right? Build the bots. Right, build all these things. Remember, we got Pi and X, we got the bots, we got so many different things that are still evolved, but this is the time to build, right? Build these positions, okay, and truly just focus on risk management. Now, I got something very interesting to show you guys, right? We know here, let me just take us off for a second and just so I don't share information, people will message me. But if you look at this, right? So this has obviously been my trading journey, okay? And, you know, this is on the 𝗏𝗏𝗱𝗏 platform over here. And we can see now I'm up around 250%, you know, up $62,000 last 30 days. We've done incredible things with the money, which is cool. There's a lot of cool videos coming out. But I think, again, just to show you guys, was obviously the win-loss ratio. So what we did is obviously a new partner that I've been working with for many months now. And you've seen it before, is Ultra Trader, right? Which is basically a trading journal. And I just want to show you guys, here we go. So we basically took my entire, you know, last 3 months and we basically put it out, right? And I just want to show you a very interesting stat. Now, I market execute a lot of trades, right? I don't really limit order much. I market execute. When I see breaker trends, I get through. So there's a lot more trades that kind of happen. But I just want to show you guys here that in this time over here, I took probably around 68 trades, right, over the last 2 months. This is how much the percentage that I won. Right now, again, this is a bunch of little market orgs. For me, it's around 20-30%. But when you take it all into context, right, of what I've actually managed to do over here, 16%, 16%, I won. Up $40,000, up to 300% over the last 300 to 400%. It's a little bit higher now. Right, literally, this is where it was. Account dropped all the way down. I had 3. Remember, I told you guys, right? So remember, when you're a trader, have tools, okay, that help you understand your game, okay. But I just want to show you guys. So I was here, okay, then drop. I think I was down to $3,200. Remember, I told you on the 10th. Where was it? No. This is before. We checked it this morning. I went down to $3,000. Right now we're at 60 or 50. Where we now, I've been withdrawing a bunch of cash. Where we now, we're at 48,000. I've withdrawn up to $45,000 in the last 7 days. We're giving away a bunch of money to people for Christmas, to the communities, all these bunch of things. Okay, but I just want to show you that's a very interesting stat. So anyone that doesn't believe that they can do it in this space, I just want you to take that stat, and I believe all of you can get over 10 to 20%, you know, win ratios. Okay, but the main thing that we saw within this, as we started to kind of deep dive into it a little bit more, was my wins were worth 1 to 7. So if you look at all my trades, right, my wins were 7 times more than my losses, right? And that's how we got to that basic stat over there of being highly profitable over the last couple of weeks to that. So again, you know, it comes down to risk management. How quick are you cutting losses? Okay. And how confident are you to enter trades? So if I go back to here again and I say, okay, we look at this over here on Solana. Okay. For me, it's crazy if you like Solana and you want to make cash, it's crazy to not commit to some positions here, right? To open up, let's say a Solana bot here, to open up a spot trade here, to focus on a leverage position. The main thing is, where do you protect yourself? Where do you protect yourself? Right? That is the thing. It's not about losing anymore. It's losing, but it's calculated. So again, if I take this chart here and Sol loses this over the next couple of weeks, you know, we can go to a $60 Solana, right? Now, again, the bullish scenario is still in play, and that's why I'm still very optimistic to the upside. But if we lost that, there's nothing stopping us going back to $180 or $60, right? So I know that now. I've thought of the worst. I planned the worst. Okay, cool. So that means that if we go bear, we have to lose this trend. Okay, fantastic, right? If we go bull, we right on the bottom here of what it's done multiple times. We should go from here back to $200, right? So for me, the risk to reward is very, very, very simple. So I click this in over here, I put this here, and I put this there, right? And this very much comes down to my whole trading journey over the last couple of weeks, right? This one loss here, okay, is worth 5 times more to the reward. And if we lose this, I would rather fish at $60. So it's not about being afraid anymore. It's about, this is a great place to build all those strategies, right? To build all those things. Just put protection in, right? Protect yourself. Put it over there and have a calculated loss into play. Because again, if this does decide to drop here and then break here, that's the same thing, right? That was your loss. You lost 10%, 12%, whatever it may be, right? Over here. You buy here now, okay? And it goes in your favor. Okay, and you make 98%, right? What does that 10% loss matter? It doesn't matter, right? So again, the conviction and the confidence behind trades comes when you've already identified where's the place to protect, where's the risk to reward, and where do I do it, right? That is literally it. So again, right now, what am I preparing for, right? I'm on the verge of getting ready to enter a bid-funded account. So I'm going to deploy my 100,000 possibly today. I'm just determining should I do it before or after FOMC, and I'll go through that in a second. Okay, the bots, we're going. Right? Bots, I've been accumulating and building and building and building. They're in the red, but they've been buying, right? I've made that. I got stops in play. I'm happy. Okay. When it comes to trading, I'm trading, but only really good entries. You could see yesterday I caught the bottom of that move. We had that little dip off and pump. I literally caught it. There's the buy. So just to show you guys. There's the buy. Then I had a small stoppage. Then I bought. Then I added more as we broke. And this green line is my buy. Right, this is my stop loss at $3,000 profit no matter what. Okay, because I gave back $2,000 in that stoppage yesterday. I don't want to lose money if this turns or moves against me at any point. Okay, but you could see one trend line break, one the same strategy, but the conviction of actually entering the trades. If I again go into this, remember, an investor will not trade anywhere near as much trades as this is. Okay, but don't be afraid to take the trades. This is what I'm trying to say. Right? Make sure they're good areas, risk is low, rewards good, and just keep doing that. If you get stopped and then you don't know what to do next, you take a break. A couple of hours later, there's new candles, there's new structure. Again, risk low, go. Right? I literally took nearly 70 trades in that month. Look at the loss ratio, look at the win ratio, look at the P&L. Right? Look at the money that was made. Okay, so super, super, super important that again. So going back over here, I'm going to leave you with this chart and you can make that decision. Right, I still have this in play. We'll see if we get up there. But the first one that I'm pretty confident in is we're going to have that move at any point. Right, get this market a little bit bullish. It is time. Right, when you go to the rest of the markets, for me, Bitcoin still has that little climb up to the areas of 100, 105, 100 and this. Okay, RSI at the bottom. Okay, again, I'm bearish on Bitcoin. I think if we don't get through here over the next couple of weeks, I do think there's a $50,000 Bitcoin incoming. But for now, the risk to reward is to take the longs, because where will the market also really screw up everyone? What happens if Bitcoin does this? Right? I must not be afraid, right? That's the important thing over there when it comes to that. And as well as going through here, total three is golden pockets, RSI at the bottom. Okay, so I'm just letting you know in high time frame, there is a lot of opportunities right now where risk is a lot lower than reward, right? And a perfect time to deploy those strategies and go again. The main thing is just keep looking after the risk and make sure that your risk to reward ratio is good. Don't be afraid of losses anymore. Stop thinking short time. Think overall the next few couple of months, right? Imagine I let those 60 losses get to me. No, right? It's like, okay, I lost, but I get a better entry. Okay, I lost, I get a better entry. Okay, I won't boom, I'm up, right? And that's the whole thing here, is to really, really, really understand. So again, high time frame, that is where we're at. Again, we are not far away from altcoins really popping. Okay, so let's see. FOMC has a good kind of thing when it comes to reversing dominance. Okay, it's helped altcoins a lot of times over the last year. It's really got altcoins moving nice and strong. Okay, we are now approaching down over here. So there's two scenarios in dominance. If the dominance goes up like this, I do think it might go on a very bullish Bitcoin, right? Because for me, maybe Bitcoin does want to hunt after FOMC tonight. Things are good. Maybe it wants to hunt that 105,000. There's a lot of liquidity and a lot of shorts to get wrecked over there. Okay, so if we go up from here, it just means that Bitcoin gets ultra bullish, in my opinion. Okay, if we just get a slow climb from Bitcoin and it's going to do what I think it's going to do, where it's going to take a couple of days to weeks to get to this target of 105 or 7, okay, then I truly see the Bitcoin dominance dropping hard and really releasing the altcoins. We are this far from altcoins breaking out. We're not too far now, right? So this could be the moment. So let's jump into the plays over here and what I'm preparing for when it comes to today's trades and things like that. So there's two scenarios that's going to play out FOMC. Okay, I just want to paint them out here first. Okay, so now we are sitting, if we look at where we are now, we're around about 8 hours away from FOMC. All right, so the market is now sitting here. It's done whatever it's done. There's two plays that's going to happen now. We're sitting with a bunch of support lower down because the market broke out yesterday. Okay, and we are sitting with a resistance that is sitting above. So the market's sitting between two places. Okay, which means today we're kind of going to look at, two scenarios. The first scenario is if we pre-dump FOMC. I'm talking we dump for a couple hours, we pull back into these zones, right? We usually leave FOMC with green, right? This is just off of the stats, and a lot of time we've done many. I've probably done like 40 FOMCs now, right? 40, 50 FOMCs, a lot of them. Okay, so we pre-dump, I would say 80% of the time we release to the upside, right? There's a little bit of play here as the numbers come out, choppy, but we ultimately release. Okay, when it comes down to do we pre-pump, okay, it usually does this. As numbers about to come out, shoots, rockets, this, and then we get going. Okay, so it just means that if you are deciding to trade today, you need to be able to withstand that. And I'm talking short term or high leverage or whatever it may be. You need to know that that is going to come. There's a very good chance we're going to exit to the upside when we're done with that. Okay, but ultimately you need to survive that, which means you are only really buying at good areas. You're buying these dips here, right? You're not really focused too much to be in here. This is where it can damage you quite a bit. Okay, but you basically focus there. When it comes to the rest of it, you have to just take positions now. If you believe that the alts are going to break out the way I do, okay, you're just making sure that you can survive this, which means spot. You can put a nice little decent stop that's way below all of this in a good area, strong area, right? Let it play and ultimately catch through. And when this chop is done, then you take your leverage positions and your trades. Okay, the other scenario, well, let's go back to the first scenario. If this happens, though, where we drop before, I will take positions here. Because then I think this happens, but I think we're good. Okay, so again, volatility is going to come. We're either going to pre-pump, then drop, or we're going to drop, pump, right? These are the plays that happen within FOMC. So let's take that now back to the Bitcoin chart. Okay, over here. Here is your support that I just spoke about. Okay, and here is your resistance. Those two areas that I spoke about. Bitcoin has started breaking out. So I do want to let you know that the bull meter is slightly going a little bit higher because we are sitting with a breakout right now, right? Giving us a good chance that after this not manipulation, but very like a volatile stage, we should start hunting down the $100,000 after this. Okay, we just got this little face and this little piece over here to fill. Okay, so you're sitting with support and you're sitting with resistance ahead of you. Now, this support is a little bit big. It can be anywhere Bitcoin going down to 90,000. Okay, but from here, if we pre-dump now, I am looking to take positions. Okay, before FOMC. Okay, because that for me, it just sticks to my rules that when things are here, it's the lowest risk that I can take. Okay, because we might pre-dump for 2-3 hours now and actually pump into FOMC. Okay, type of thing over there. So for me, this is where I would build positions. Okay, until we are actually in those zones, I will not be building much positions. Right, I even want to speak about SOL if I'm going to hold this position or what a base I'm going to do. What I do secondly, okay, is as this is coming down, you can see we're starting to form a nice little red candle. Okay, just put this in. That will be your signal to buy. Okay, so it's telling us there's space here. Don't waste your time until a little bit later today. Okay, that's again. This is leverage unless it is spot, higher time frame. This is a perfect time to buy, right? You don't have much time to stare at charts, put a bigger stop, no problem. Okay, when you zoom in here, where do you put stops? Go take the very strong, let me just show you guys here. So here is a strong support. So for example, stops will be below this area over here. Okay, there's a lot of little techniques that you can use when it comes to stops. Okay, there's the trend if you want to leverage trade. Why? Because again, it's telling you it's going to do this for a while. And when it breaks, lower risk to reward play over there. It's going to say, ignore the volatility. This thing's telling us that you should actually be trading 2 hours after FOMC. So it's telling you it's going to be volatile. Don't give away too much money. Let it chop, let it this, let it settle, then you pounce, right? Keep this in mind. But again, we want to pay attention here because this is coming at any point, right? So a lot of good opportunities. So weird seeing my face on someone's name. Yo, what's up? Yo, Alexander. amazing. Okay, so again, total 3. We're getting a little hint of breaking out, but just remember, volatile season here. So where we're looking at support is down in this area here. So drop off, then go. The signal, guys. Again, I'm showing you on a 4-hour. You zoom in, pop this trend in. Alts are actually a lot closer than Bitcoin. You see that? Look how much closer altcoins are. Let's just put the correct trend here. Alts are closer than Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. That breakout, that's the entry, stop loss below. Okay, couple of good opportunities. I did have a short for you guys. It might still be here. So I got a short for those who believe we're going to be bearish, right? Into this over here. It is Zcash. So it's a little bit, it's not in the shorts just yet, but it might when we end the stream over the next hour or two. But you see how we lost this bottom trend. So if I was a trader today that's not really biased on what they think, and they just want to trade the markets, something like this for me can happen on Zcash, where we pop up, we drop, we go up from there, right? Good short opportunity over there. So keep that in mind for those who want to possibly short, right? The longs for me, Sol, coming into these zones now, this 135, 136 is good entries for me for Solana, right? Stop losses on those positions, just to show you guys how I calculate my stops. I'll take this bottom trend in here, and my stops will be around 132, 133. Let's see where my stop loss is right now. 134. Okay, so I might drop this a little bit more. Okay, looks like I am going to have to maybe hold this a bit more and build on it as it breaks through. Okay, but ultimately, oh, amazing. 𝗬𝗵𝗁𝗍, but nice to see us with a selfie there. Very cool. Okay, ETH, let's have a look at ETH. ETH is telling me downside. So ETH saying here, here, and go. So my ETH buys are sitting between the 3.2 and 3.250. Let's look at the rest. AVAX broke out. There's the buy zones for AVAX. Right, that's the opportunities that we are paying. Looks like the market's pre-dumping. Right, good opportunities. Cardano, this area is here between the 44.5 cents and the 45.5. Right, good opportunities. And it's going to be scary to buy red, I know, but that is where risk to reward, where the risk is the lowest. So again, you want to know where to put your stop losses. Go to the nearest lows, pop them in here. Your stops go below. Right, here's Dogecoin coming into a really good buy. Stuff's telling me that things will look nice and strong after this. Okay, but this is the hard part. I see 𝗬𝗏 is breaking out for a spot trade. Something's happening here. It's been just giving these random pumps. Look at the like there's buying happening here. Keep that in mind. Right, some nice 𝗬𝗏 possible setups over there. Then guys, later today. So remember, I just want to show you, for those looking for a trading account, 𝗬𝗏 has great promotions at the moment. You can get up to $100 just by signing up. Okay, doing a couple of very basic things. And then when it comes to depositing, if you deposit $100 and you hold it for more than 3 days, right, you get a $50 bonus. Amazing, right? If you have $500 and you hold it for more than 3 days, you get an $80 bonus. Okay, if you put $1,000, okay, and you hold it for 3 days, you get a $100 free bonus. Right, some free cash over here. This is all with 𝗬𝗏. Link below in the description. Okay, amazing. Then guys, I'm not going to, unless we get to really good entries now, like Solana, I might be taking a bit-funded entry. I'm actually getting ready for it. If Sol goes to the where are we now? Are we close? If it goes to the 136, 135, I will be taking a bit-funded long. I want to pass these accounts. I want to pass the $100,000 account, $5,000 account. I want to have this. Remember, it's only one phase now. When I get through the one phase, I can trade the $100,000 on 5x. I am now using this last little bit before market gets ready for high time frame breakouts to get more money than what I got. Right? Super, super, super important. Okay, amazing, guys. I will see you in a couple of hours later. Have a Gravity account ready for tonight. It's a DEX. We're going to be trading live. Tonight, we are doing a competition, okay, to trade. I'm hosting. So I got a bunch of other traders coming through, and we're going to sit and trade FOMC together, right? We're going to have some fun with it, but obviously we're going to pay attention to the setups and making sure we get the major entries we've been looking for. Guys, have a great day. Love you lots, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.